First of all, I think that Florida will experience some ebbs and flows. It always does. There's a housing cycle that goes along with it, and we're on the downswing of a housing cycle. There's a little bit of concerning stuff, some overbuilding left over from COVID, especially in the Tampa area and up around there. So housing might be a sore spot. But the bigger trend, as Tom's saying, is still remains intact. I'm actually a refugee. I came from upstate New York 25 years ago. It wasn't the weather. It wasn't necessarily taxes. The reason why people come to Florida is because it's business friendly. The reason we left New York State, first of all, I grew up in the Rust Belt. I saw the downside of all that stuff. It isn't, the Rust Belt, you can blame a lot of factors for that, but a lot of it has to do with government overreach and overregulation. That's really why I left New York State. You come down to Florida, it's night and day difference. Florida is much more free and open, less regulated. That's where the lack of income taxes comes from. You compare New York State to Florida, not just in terms of population, but the government expenditures. Florida has more people now than New York State does, but yet their government expenditures are, I believe, less than half of what they are in New York State. And those two things correlate. The bigger a government is, the more there's going to be overreach. There's more there's going to be, interference in the just daily lives of people who live there, as well as the businesses that are trying to succeed. And it just becomes a toxic mix. So Florida has a lot of things going for it, but the weather, the taxes, those aren't necessarily the key secret ingredients that make Florida a top draw destination like Texas. People are moving to Texas and Florida because it isn't the same type of overwhelming, really overwhelming government climate like it is in the Northeast or the coast.
Yeah, when you said refugee, I was like, all right, as long as you're not coming here from Minnesota or some of these places we're looking at, we just want to make